Okay, you guys might have noticed if you've been watching this channel for a while that unlike last season, I'm not really commenting so much on the NFL. And it's not even like some of you might think it's because of the political overtones of the season and, a number of topics that I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. And part of it, yeah, I am kind of tired of those topics as a whole. And I don't know if I really care as much as I used to. And I don't really know if I care as much about the NFL as I used to, because there's a lot of issues that I think are, I just find them a lot more fascinating right now than football, which, I was for years, and I still love my team. Still like watching a game if I can. I watched earlier this evening the Sunday night game. And I have to say that my enthusiasm was not nearly as great as it's been in the past. And I don't think I'm the only one. And this is bad news for the NFL if we're going to see this again at all. Look, Vontae Davis of the Buffalo Bills, a cornerback, quit at halftime in an NFL game. I have never heard of this since I started watching football. It's possible that things like this have happened back in the past. Somebody who's read about the early days of the NFL, there were some strange things that happened. I think one year, I believe it was like sometime in the 20s, or no, it was the 40s. One of the teams that won the championship had the trophy stolen by the other team. So, things happen, but this I think it brings the level of professionalism down. So it says here, when the story of the 2018 Bills is written, it probably won't be pretty, and it will include a player retiring at halftime. With the Bills losing 28-6 at halftime against the LA Chargers, Davis decided he had seen enough, according to Bills linebacker Lorenzo Alexander. Lorenzo Alexander says he was told at the start of the second half that Vontae Davis quit and retired. And he said he hadn't seen anything like it going back to Pop Warner. Completely disrespectful. I don't really know that much about Lorenzo Alexander. Vontae Davis does sound familiar. Let me see here. Yeah, here we go. Here's the quote itself.
You've seen anything like that in your NFL
Never
career?
have seen it ever. Pop Warner, high school, college, pros, never heard of it, never seen it. And it's just completely disrespectful to his teammates.
Did he say anything to you as a
Did
veteran?
he say anybody did
He didn't say nothing to nobody.
You left?
When did you find
Yeah,
out?
you know as much as I know. I found out going in the second half of the game. Coming out, they said he's not coming out, he retired. So,
What?
yep, that's it. So,
Who said that?
who said what?
Who said he
Sean
These
say
guys
that?
on
Or?
the sideline.
Yeah,
I mean, guys heard about it and said that he wasn't coming back out.
So the Bills did rally in the second half. Now I will say there was one episode I remember when I was I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, when Kyle Orton, who had been the backup with Dallas. I am a Dallas fan, and Kyle Orton had once been a quarterback for the Bears and for I believe Denver for several years, and then for Kansas City briefly, and then he signed with Dallas as a backup for Tony Romo. And he didn't play very, very effectively when he was there on any of the games where he was subbing for Romo. I remember he choked one year against the Eagles. And I think the following year, when they actually needed him, he retired. And then he unretired and signed with the Bills. And that I thought was a new low in the NFL. It's like, you sign a contract and then you retire and then you unretire. I mean, then maybe you should give some of the money you earned back. But that really is like the issue, that some of these contracts are not really, they don't sign a contract with you expecting you to screw them over. And I'm not here to defend NFL owners. I think that a lot of them, the majority of them actually are kind of scumbags, especially that Dan Snyder over there in Washington. And here's one quote from Vontae Davis. So Davis released a statement that said after many injuries through the years, it sunk in during Sunday's game. He shouldn't be playing anymore. He also admitted he wasn't willing to make the sacrifices necessary to keep playing. So this is him when he was with the Colts. I'm not aware. I think he was with the Colts when they made it to the World Series, not the World Series, to the Super Bowl and lost to the Saints. I'm not sure if he was there for their first for the Super Bowl that they won. Let's look that up. Vontae Davis. So it already says former quarterback. And no, he wasn't. It looks like he wasn't even there for their Super Bowl appearance in 2009. He was with the Dolphins. So this is a really bad look for a league that is trying hard to say, well, we represent cities, we represent the fans, we represent the legacy of generations of players. You know, Johnny Unitas and I mean, Bo Jackson. You talk about who are the other real characters? You know, Dan Marino. Everybody from their generation that follows the NFL, they remember these iconic players. And now in this generation, people are talking about kind of the players that don't really represent any sort of commitment to excellence, as Al Davis once would have said. Al Davis, for those of you that don't know, the former or the deceased owner of the Oakland Raiders. You know, that was a mentality for that era, and it looks like we have a new mentality for this era, and it's not going to be something that the NFL is going to thrive on. You see, people are not going to buy jerseys. They're not going to buy apparel for players that quit at halftime. It's just ridiculous, and it's clear that the enthusiasm for the game is kind of leaching away in this league. It's really at a low point in my opinion, and I could be wrong. Some people think that gambling will save the NFL, which is a nice theory, but you know, at the end of the day, people need to play the actual games. So that's about it. Let me know what you think. I didn't really watch a ton this week. I only watched one game, and that's about it. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, also share the video, and comment when it uploads. Also subscribe to my new channel, Razor Ray Live Wounds, which I will be putting at the end. Have a good night.